Hey everyone, Kim here, Abundant Life Tarot. Welcome. This is our continuing reading, our detailed tarot and oracle reading surrounding Willem Kruger's death. And if you want a little bit more background, I did do an introduction or a background in part 1 and it's timestamped, so you can go right to it. Otherwise, we're going to just dive right in because we have a lot of questions to cover. So, the first question, Spirit, can you share about the following cards that came up that were repeated themes that came up in the earlier parts? The part 1 and 2. We kept getting themes surrounding addiction, greedy, and feminine energy. So I'm going to pull 3 cards. Okay, let's see. 5 of air in reverse. Father of earth, king of pentacles, greed. Okay. And feminine energy. Son of fire. Okay. Knight of wands. Interesting. All right. So I wanted to explore the themes here that were coming up in his opening oracle reading. And the reverse 5 of swords can be a situation like a tough conflict that was people were trying to overcome. It was a tough mental grasp of things. And I suppose it can mean an addiction, trying to overcome an addictive situation, an addiction itself, and someone nearing the end of that, or someone trying to get away from a highly addictive situation. We have here King of Pentacles. This goes with the greedy theme, and this could be about, how do you say, high status, wealth, money, prestige, somebody throwing their weight around, somebody using their influence, their financial influence to shape things, or try to at least. Someone was greedy, or maybe Willem perceived them as greedy, or maybe this person wrongfully or rightfully perceived what Willem was doing was greedy or gluttonous or trying to take something. And this person who personifies abundance and wealth is very near to the situation, near to what happened to Willem, involved. I suppose that's what this greedy card is speaking to. Directing our attention to some sort of wealth and influence on this situation. Then we have here Knight of Wands. So this is about feminine energy. So this could be a contentious type of situation with a person. Could be the same person, I suppose, over feminine energy. A fight, perhaps? I don't know, an argument about or over a female? It'll remain to be seen what those are speaking to. But this is question number 1. I just wanted clarity, a little more insight into what those themes were speaking about. Are they speaking about people? They are. And it's a contentious, someone feeling like they're on the losing end of the stick, someone trying to extricate themselves, but having a really difficult time doing that. And as a result, it led to what has happened to Willem. All right, so we're at question number 2. Question number 2 is, what was the motive? What was the motive? Since police have declared that his life was taken from him, what was the motive behind that? Daughter of fire. Okay. Daughter of fire. The magician. The devil. Ooh, okay. Greed. Someone trying to magically make him go away. We've got feminine energy again. Hold on. What is the motive? I'm going to be clear with the oracle. Working with the Secrets Revealed True Crime Oracle. What is the motive? What is the motive? No, I want to keep that one. Okay, so we have here Page of Fire, somebody wanting a new beginning, inspiring towards a new beginning. And he, like I said before in question number 1, he was impeding on this imminent new beginning that was happening. And we saw that in, part 1 with the fetus card. It's like there's something that was new that was about to be birthed. And that, and we're also dealing with tempestuous energy here. We've got the Knight of Fire, the Daughter of Fire, very hot-headed energy. The Magus, which is the Magician. Someone, and this is an interesting one, because look, we've got property for sale sign. We've got CNN, Fox, like Botox. We've got someone with a lot of influence and backing and the ability to try to make something go away, at least in their mind. They're trying to do a whole switcheroo to protect their interest, okay? Very money motivated. We see that also here with this Devil card, okay? That the Devil card can represent somebody's addictions to power, addictions to money, greedy, gluttony, acting out on their what is it? Their lesser, good, their lesser selves. Like I don't know how else to say it, but certainly this is this energy here is like destruction. They wanted to destroy him because they felt like he was, trampling on something that belonged to them. They didn't respect that. They didn't like that, and he had to go. It just is really. I would expect more, I suppose, in terms of a motive, but this is what we're getting here. The investigation may already signal towards the motive, like the police or investigators have already tapped in on why this happened, but they just have not revealed that to the public at this time. Whoever that is doing this is clearly trying to cover their tracks because they want to escape imprisonment. They're distancing themselves. They have been distancing themselves, and they do pose a flight risk because they have the means to disappear. And part of that disappearance, was putting a big distance between themselves and what happened to him. This is why everything is the way it is. His truck is put into the water. They thought they were being very careful, doing a switcheroo with the Magician to cover up that they may have overstepped some bounds here. Cult or groupthink. Not quite sure what this comes up with or why. We'll see as we move on to the next cards. The motive for me, if I had to just name it, it's like someone wanting to get him out of the way. They felt like he was impeding on a new beginning that they were embarking on. They couldn't have that. They, in their short-sighted mind, thought, just act on their base level impulses and did this to him. And then they thought they were smart enough to cover their tracks. And it's all because they figure it's just a matter of time before they're leaving the area anyway. just as long as they could buy themselves time to get out of there, they will, because they don't want to be imprisoned. And so there's just a snowball effect of cover up and getting buy-in from people around them in the community. I don't know. This I'm going to have to sit on with that. Like, what is the cult or groupthink card speaking to? If you all are familiar with this case and you can pinpoint what this card may be speaking on, let me know in the comments section. Question number 3 is, who is responsible for what happened to Willem? No. Who is responsible for what happened to Willem? 10 of air. More than one person. Ooh. A cruel situation. I'm going to pull. I got these. Let me show you what we got. I did use this deck in part 2, and I believe this deck. So I'm not going to really, I think that we're just going to explore it primarily from the Tarot and Secrets Revealed. We can check back on part 2 to look at what the defining characteristics cards came up with. In fact, I will see if I can pull it up here on my computer. Some of the cards we got was like square, shaped face, blue eyes, glasses, skin condition, long hair, and hazel eyes. There's multiple people involved. Feminine energy heavily involved, coming in with advice and guidance. Friend, acquaintance, or coworker, and karmic. So someone who betrayed him. Someone maybe in his inner circle, or, could be a work situation, I suppose. But someone in his inner circle. I say that because of the 10 of air, 10 of swords. 10 of swords is like the ultimate betrayal card. Feeling backstabbed, like it's bad. Like, and this is, for me, I'm sensing both. Obviously, Willem was backstabbed, the ultimate betrayal of taking his life and in the way they took his life. But also what I'm picking up on here is that someone felt he was the odd man out and he was doing the most. And that could be where this cult groupthink, that some people feel justified in him, in this inner circle, justified in doing what they did to him, which is interesting to me. Like, feeling like he betrayed them, or he was in the wrong, so he had to pay for that in the cruelest way possible with this card. Yikes, if you have a weak stomach, I should have did a warning here. So we got 9 of air, 9 of swords, cruelty, and then we have the 10 of air, 10 of swords, destruction. So what I'm getting a sense of here is that whoever this was, it feels very close to me. And there was some kind of nightmarish situation that people are aware about surrounding Willem. People close to him, they know, like some people know that he may have been going through something, or they heard about some mental anguish. Hold on. Jeez. Okay. Again, we got this card. This card came up in, I think, part 1. Local. This is very local to him, native to him, people who, someone in his inner circle, someone who's around, and it wouldn't catch any, when I suppose some people in the greater community would be surprised because they would think, wow, I wouldn't have thought it was this person. But in the grand scheme of things, as the investigators start to really piece together and shape up what happened, it's going to be like, oh, yikes. And there's photos of him even with, I'm sensing there's photos with him and the person who is ultimately responsible, as well as people who helped aid and abetted and help with the continual trying to cover up things. There's multiple people involved, and he may have even had pictures on his social media with them, or vice versa. They have pictures of him on theirs. There could be photographic evidence from even the night. But I'm thinking this is just saying, hey, in terms of, and we got computer, in terms of, you know, if this was a stranger or not, it's not. This is someone who, you know, might even have sent him emails, exchanged, someone again in his circle, in his close circle. And that's where we'll leave it at that. I suppose that this person could have a lot of air elemental qualities to them. Not necessarily that they are an air sign like Aquarius, Gemini, or Libra, but that they could be aloof at times, very mentally calculating. I don't know. It just, that air, I find that interesting as well. The two swords cards. All right, let's move on to the next question. And like I said, if you want more descriptions about who these persons are, check out part 2. So now we're going to ask, how did this unfold? How did the crime unfold? We'll see what Spirit wants to share about that. Oh, and a couple of cards. One card I didn't talk about, but I'll talk about in a moment, is wooded area. I don't know if this is speaking to somebody who lives like in a more rural part or a wooded area, or there's evidence of this person and Willem being together in a wooded area, photographs on a computer of him, you know, being together. I don't know. But let me move on to this one. How did the crime unfold? Father of air. Somebody planned, orchestrated it. What was supposed to be a festive time with the 6 of Cups is in reverse. Someone to benefited from, seized an opportunity of knowing he would be there, be happy and inebriated, I sense, with this Fool card, and exacting this plan, executing this plan. So that could definitely indicate, some people would say premeditation with the Father, the King of Swords. Information. Like they had intel that he was going to be there. Like they got information about 6 days before, confirming that he for sure was going to be there. They were going to be there. They were going to, you know, confront him with some information. A fight ensued, but the whole confronting with information was a part of the greater plan to kick something off. So in a way, it could look like, oh, if ever this person was brought up for charges, oh, well, I just lost my temper and we got into a fight and it's self-defense. But no, there was some intentional confrontation, knowing that it could escalate. Circumstantial evidence. Hit and run. Yeah. This is how they want it to paint it to be, but it's not. The King of Swords for me is telling me that this was in a way like they like a trap, if you will. Man. Okay, so how did it unfold? I would reckon that there were words exchanged with the father of air, and the night, it sounded like the bachelor party that he was attending was fine, but I can't be sure. I don't know the story beyond what I saw in the news reports. But that some element of what was supposed to be a happy occasion, this is it upright, this card, turned into a very volatile situation. Maybe it was because alcohol was involved. Some information was thrown out, and it led to folks acting a fool. And something happened, and he was taken and moved, is what I'm getting a sense here. Someone followed with the vehicle, and wanted to paint it to look like he just rolled into the water, and people they thought they had enough influence that law enforcement would look away. I think that this man, the ringleader of all of this, he wasn't counting on an investigation to really kick off beyond where it did. I think that they were also surprised that after almost a year, that police changed it to a murder investigation, because they felt safe now. They felt safe in, it was an accident. But truth be told, no, there was circumstantial evidence that led police to change things. Yes, we talked a lot about that circumstantial evidence in parts 1 and 2. The keys not being in the ignition. All right, we talked about that. The vehicle was in the parked position, not in a gear for driving. So we talked about that. There was a lot of circumstantial evidence that took them away from a hit and run situation to a man. And all of this is circling, the hotbed of this was supposed happy occasion, the bachelor party, that turned into a very unhappy occasion. Okay, that's what I'm picking up on here. And so we talked a bit more. We took ourselves through what may have happened and how he got to where he was. There was, I feel like, a second vehicle that was following some, and so that means that there's some sort of conspiracy before or after to cover up and conceal, and there's evidence of that. But this man was counting on law enforcement not getting to that point, not figuring that part out, and they did. It took a year, but they figured it out. Okay, they figured it out, and they're continuing to figure it out and piece together what happened. So yes, it's taking time, but it sounds like this, the way South African police handle it, they keep everything very tight-lipped, and yeah, that's how they're moving and rolling. But that bachelor party, it was planned that there was going to be a confrontation, and it was planned that they were willing to go as far as the altercation or this information was going to Willem. They were ready to fight it out, duke it out. So it will be interesting when we get to a point of a trial what the suspect will say, in terms of first, no, he ended up in there on his own, or somebody must have swerved and caused him to go into the water or try to make it look like a hit and run and blah, blah, blah. Then it's going to change to self-defense, things escalated, and, and then the jury will have to decide, is that really what happened? Because there's some evidence to contradict all of that, is what I'm sensing here. So the next question, which is, what happened to Willem? Or important clues as to what happened to him. Someone took the life out of him. Strength in reverse. The Lovers. Mother of Earth. Feminine energy again. Can't seem to escape it. Reverse strength. It's like waiting till he's in a weakened state. Could be like strangulation or some sort of like waiting till he's in a weakened state. Maybe, I don't know how much he consumed. Footprints. Government and military. Blood on their hands. So I don't know if they didn't mention anything else about what led them to believe. Drugs overdose. Spirit keeps wanting to point our attention to that. Okay. Just move these. We got too many cards on the table as is. There's a lot going on. I'm going to, after this pause, take a picture of the card. So, Spirit, what happened to Willem? We're using the Divine Crime Oracle now. I don't know if these cards are going to yield anything. That's okay. Waterfalls. All right. You know what's interesting when I see this waterfalls card? Do you guys remember the TLC song, Don't Go Chasing Waterfalls? Please stick to the rhythms and the lakes that you're used to. That lyric. And when I saw this card, that's immediately what comes to mind, is that somebody in this dynamic, it was like, and maybe this was Willem, in too deep, or, you know, doing a bit much, allegedly, or maybe someone around him, and he was like, you know, this is enough, it's too much, it's getting too big, you're moving too fast, you're doing too much, and someone didn't like that because he was in effect getting in the way of what they wanted to do, what they needed to do, what they possessed, what they had, and that was a problem. So I suppose this could be like, I don't know if there's evidence of him drowning. It could be that, this is just with this beach card, a lot of evidence could have washed away as to what truly happened to him. For example, like him being involved in a physical altercation of fighting and defending himself. You're not going to necessarily see blood, right? Because he's deceased, and the water has effectively washed away the blood. In terms of what happened, I feel like he may have been subdued, consumed something that was toxic to the body that caused him to be subdued. I'm sure they did a full panel of tests, and maybe that's what will be revealed later down the line in court of what came up in his tox reports, if they were able to get that. I'm concerned because he had been in the water. He wasn't in the water forever, though. So, I mean, it very well is possible that they could still be able to pull some important information about what happened to him through the autopsy, is what I'm picking up here. And I say that because of this footprints card. Now, this could literally be like there was footprints that show, like, a struggle. There's some sort of struggle with the strength in reverse before he then end up going in. And also, I talk a bit about what may have happened. I'm going to look at my pictures in parts 1 and 2. Let me see. This one doesn't go into depth, but we got party and social. Maybe something happening at or just after, on the way from the lodge where the bachelor party was happening. Let's see. Waterfalls came up again. This is the second time this card came up. I wonder if it's like some kind of landmark in the area, because this card came up in part 2 of the readings I've done. We got plant. What else do we have? Drug addict, addiction. There's definitely somebody who is involved in this situation who may have a problem here. And we have DV, physical abuse. I would say physical altercation. He was held, taken, held, or dragged, driven somewhere. He was moved. We got that. I picked up on that in the other parts. Short hair or shaved, not quite sure. I'm gonna stick these cards to the side. The short hair and shaved. And west, maybe out west. Someone who lives out west from the lodge or from where he was found. September. Another clue as to how long preceding his death this situation was like brewing and growing. But yeah, I'm sensing with this card, as I'm going through and looking at all the previous cards and the DV, there may be some evidence of him being subdued to a point where he couldn't fight back. We got the Lovers card, someone in tandem, and we got a male and female close to the situation, in the know, leading to his demise. Someone he thought he could trust. Someone at one point he did trust. We have government and military. Now, I'm looking at this simply just the blood on the hands. Someone has blood on their hands, so to speak. But this could indicate some level of someone with a government or military background, or it could represent maybe being near an outpost, I don't know. But I'm thinking it has to stem with there was a physical altercation. But they wouldn't. He seems like like he was a young, strapping young man, and the only way that they really could have gotten in and harmed him and hurt him in such a way was to have him be either heavily sedated or super drunk, and him losing his ability to be strong to fight up against them. All right, that's about what I got here. This is all the spirit's willing to release here. The Lovers is interesting too, because it can represent somebody who was feeling on the outs, like somebody having to make an important choice, and being in Willem and or like a party of three, being like someone is the odd man out, so to speak, or odd woman out, as it may be. So, what a sordid thing is going on here. I still can't quite wrap my mind around what's going on. Some cases it's like that for me. It's like, oh, I'm seeing the cards. I'm, seeing what they're telling me. I'm listening to intuition, but I just see the same consistent themes coming up over and over again.